Your reading goal this year is very much accomplishable. Don't start off with hard classical literature or really hard literature overall. Like, have the confidence and also take your time and have patience when reading. So, I'm presuming because you clicked on this video, you have a resolution or you have a goal to achieve to read more books this year. And with this big group of books here, I can tell you that your reading goal this year is very much accomplishable, but you just need to put in the work and you have to be dedicated to the process. So I'm going to be telling you my reading journey from last year and how I was able to finish majority of these books, and how in 2026 you will be able to accomplish your reading goals as well. So also a disclaimer before we start. Thank you to my 23 subscribers so far. It was actually quite crazy. We had gotten a big jump in subscribers recently. So I just wanted to say shout out again, like, thank you guys. This is like making it fun to do, and I just want to give like some extra value for anyone who's trying to like read more this year or just be able to be more educated this year, because the purpose of this channel is to help people read more, be more educated, and be the best polymath or be the best like well-diverse person that you can be. So with nothing else to go over, I guess we can get started. So in 2025, I started out with actually two school books. Well, one school book, because I don't know where the other one is. But I started out with a school book that I really enjoyed in class, and A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. And I started reading this book because I really love like the story and the atmosphere of the main character Salva's life, and I enjoyed like his journey to find water, or well, his journey to find like peace and his family in the retrospect. I had also read, this isn't a school book, but Avengers Assemble and Miles Morales Shockwaves and The Flash, like this big comic book adaptation of The Flash. And that really got me into reading, because these are books and comic books that have they have photo pages in them. So I wasn't like constantly just reading text, but I was also able to visualize like what the characters were doing, and it made reading so much like easier. So anyone trying to read this year, I want to say start with comic books or start with like kids books. That might be a little terrible, because you want to be already reading high level books. You don't want to be reading lower level books, but you need to, because you can't go into hardcore literature and you're like, what do these words mean, or I don't understand the plot or the motive of what the writer is trying to tell me. So starting with lower level books allow you to build all the way up until you're able to read hardcore literature and read it at a good proficiency level. Now, when reading this year, the second level of like reading like kids books or like comic books or stuff like that, I call that like the level 1 gap, and then like the level 2 gap will be books a little bit more harder. So I have Torpedo, the true story of the World War II sinking of the Children's ship. I have Wild Survival and 12 Patients. Now these books are a little bit more complex and harder because they start talking about the real world and like facts about the real world, but these books are also highly impactful because you're exposed to new vocabulary and new words, and these new words are going to help you understand the harder literature. These books also take away from the images, so now you have to actually visualize what's happening in the story, and this allows for creativity in the brain for you to synchronize the images in your head, and you're able to like play with these images in your head. You can manipulate these images into what you want to see, but following the script of the story, you're going to see what the author is displaying. Like the room was cold in temperature, or the temperature was so freezing my fingers felt numb and hard as rocks or bricks. Like the descriptive language also changes too. Like the level 1, they don't use many descriptive things. They will use descriptive language, but it won't be at a high level. Like it will be basic. But like the second level will start using descriptive words, frigid, scarce, or like instead of saying like there was no resources, there was not that many resources, you would say there are scarce resources. And this allows for the language of visualization to take place. And then the final books that I have, or I'm going to be reading, the books that I'm starting to read, this, again, 1984 and The Will to Change, Men, Masculinity, and Love by Bell Hooks. I don't know if this one is classic literature, but I know that this one is. And like starting out, I feel like I've been able to develop all my skills throughout 2025, and now in 2026, I'm able to read more hardcore literature because I developed the skills that I talked earlier about visualization, the way of descriptive words, and of that and how they use language overall. 1984 is a very classical book, and like even they use descriptive language to describe people. And one part, let me see, there was a part that talked about, it described people with a great intensity. It gave massive details. Okay, so this part. She was a bold-looking girl of about 27, with thick dark hair and freckled face, and swift athletic movements. A narrow scarlet sash, emblem of Junior Anti-Sex League, was wound several times around the waist of her overalls, just tightly enough to bring up the shaped lines of her hips. So what I'm imagining is a dark-haired woman with swift athletic movement, with an emblem around her waist, and that she's a part of this league, that I'm assuming she's a part of this league. So language also changes like how we view people to viewing people. It changes on how the author displays their characteristics. But like saying that though, this 2026 is going to be your year in a sense, because if you have a goal of a certain type of books that you do want to read, I want to tell you that I just want you to start as simple as possible. It doesn't need to be anything hardcore or anything hard, but if you read anything this year, just read. I don't even care if it's like one book this year, 2 books this year. Just read something, because that's going to open your mind to all the possibilities and all the ideas that books present. So that was my little rant or tangent on, books for you to read, or, books that you can accomplish to read this year. Last year plus this year's books. Just have the confidence and also take your time and have patience when reading. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. Like and subscribe for more, and thank you so guys again for 23 subscribers, and peace out.